All right. Oh man, the birds are upset again. Anyways, we're getting ready for the debate. We got about 15 minutes. Just gonna paste in here for you guys. I don't know if... Let me post. Put this in the video description. The NBC stream. So anyways, the deal here is I got my screen up here. You can't hear the audio. I do have them in a little window here, although I might switch that out from time to time. But basically, I can't share the audio on the stream. So you want to go and click and open up the NBC stream somewhere else. Or if we're watching this later on, you know, for historical purposes, you're going to have to start the other stream and listen to them at the same time. But this gives us a good spot to chat. Got a few people on. Good morning, everybody. I tell you what, it was kind of an interesting day in the markets too. So it's we can totally talk about Bitcoin too, man. That's so I've got that up and I have the markets here. I think we'll actually pull over. Well, I'll switch over to it if we see anything significant. Where is it? How come I can't see the charts? There we are. If we see anything significant, then I'll switch over, but I'm guessing probably not. But yeah, Bitcoin had a huge monster move down. Just a real bender. Look at that. Now they've recovered most of it. I'm quite surprised that they are still up to 1,300. Especially on so much less volume. That might be, I'd be careful about that one. Anyways, yeah, you can see people kind of filtering in. I'm just going to mute that for now. So let me pull up here. Good morning. No, yes, it's good evening. Good evening, Lucas. And it'll be interesting because our audience is also early morning. If we catch any people, evening people now, I mean, we're probably not going to have as many people, but that's okay. It's still fun. And I really like to, I've always kept really meticulous notes during the debates. But I think it'll not be nice to be able to just talk and say it and keep my notes that way. I was going to say, let's pull up the list here. I think we should do it like, where's my notepad? I think we should create a new notepad. So we can keep some notes here. That's not all of them. There's like 10 people in the debate, right? Okay, here we are. Get all their names separated out here. Oh, geez, come on. Don't be like that. Julian. Corey. Liz. Beto. Amy. Tulsi. Jay Inslee. Oops. Oh, I thought that Mr. What is his name? the universal income guy. I thought that he was on tonight's debate, but I guess not. I guess he's on day 2. You must be happy about that. Pull this back up over here. Cool. All right. So just to give you kind of like a little quick overview here of how I see this going in. They're going to have 2 debates. You have one today and one tomorrow. 10 people in each one. And they randomly drew who picked, although it didn't seem really random because all of the really big names, like Biden and Bernie, man, I just don't function as well later in the evening, apparently. But anyways, the bigger names are all in the debate tomorrow. So we kind of got the small people. Elizabeth Warren is definitely the standout person in this crowd, right? Now, maybe it's a good thing and maybe it's a bad thing for her because it's going to give her a lot of opportunity to share her ideas, and she's very policy oriented, and the Democrat base really likes that right now. So that could be a really big positive for her. But on the other hand, if she doesn't end up shining and somebody else ends up shining in this particular debate, then it's really, really going to hurt her because, this is kind of like her chance, right? And the other person, I think there's 2 other guys here that I would pay attention to. I guess there is Beto, but I think people have kind of already given up on Beto. But Cory Booker and particularly Julian Castro have not really had their time in the limelight yet. So especially if they were able to demonstrate electability, which is really the quality that it looks like Democrats are looking for the most right now. So if he was able to demonstrate electability, that could give them a really big boost. The rest of these people, man, especially some of these people like Tim Ryan and hardly anybody's heard of a lot of these guys, right? And they are going to be desperate to try and, get some time in front of the camera. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. A couple of other things that I'm going to be looking at. How many times do people refer to things as concentration camps? I think that's probably going to be a thing because that is the big media storyline that's going on right now. So there's probably going to be a really big line of contention there. I'm also interested to see where these particular candidates are going to fall down on education, because I think it was Bernie was saying that he wants to pay all of the. Warren was also saying, wasn't she? I don't know. I think a lot of them have endorsed paying off all student loans, which I don't believe is a very popular idea, at least among the general public. But those are kind of the things that it's going to be interesting to see how they handle them, and how they handle those questions in this debate is going to be big determining factors in how electable they are perceived. So I'm going to be looking at that too. All right, so we got about 5 minutes still. I don't know. This debate may be really, really boring. So I hope we'll try and make it entertaining though. Maybe Bitcoin will start selling off in the middle of it. That would be fun. That would be fun. Let's get that like that so we can see it. I'll move this over here for now. You guys have do well you're trading today? I was quite surprised. Well, I wasn't surprised that the E-mini kept going down. I was actually really tempted to just like keep trading because I've been working from home this week. But I knew that it was time to quit. But I was, excuse me, I was really surprised at the way that the treasuries moved. You see that those treasuries came all the way down today. I suspect that what might be happening is because of the comments from some of the Fed speakers yesterday, that the traders are thinking interest rates need to come back up now that it was overdone. And I actually wonder, we were talking about this in the Discord, but we're actually wondering if that might be part of why Bitcoin sold so hard. I think that one whale came out there firing and just really slammed things. And then the robots are just trading it up and pushing it higher. Although I'd be careful about, this sort of a thing that's like a dead cat bounce is what that looks like. Ugh, be careful with that one, folks. It'll be interesting to see what the Bitcoin people think tomorrow, though. And what if they come up with any kind of news-related reason for why it fell so much. I got my Twitter set up down here too. Let's make sure we can see that. Bitcoin futures. Not such a big deal. Okay, are they doing the introductions here? Okay. So the candidates are on the stage now. They haven't started talking yet. Can you hear the audio? I'm gonna check this really quick. Okay, I think it's okay. I could see my level flipping there, but really what it is it's somebody's mowing the lawn outside and you can just hear a little bit of noise. Just a little bit. And they're just making their closing, the analysts are making their closing statements here. I think they're all ready to go. They're just waiting. Okay, so that debate guy is clearly a Julian Castro supporter. So the commentators are just saying you have to have like a standout moment. It's going to be really hard to have a super clear standout moment that really hits the headlines because they're going to be a little reluctant to go after each other. Maybe they'll say something about Donald Trump that catches storm, but I think that more likely what you're going to see is a lot of like really bold ideological statements that actually hurt them. That's the temptation for them, right? The big moments are usually when you're attacking somebody else on the debate stage. I don't know if they're going to do a whole lot of that. So these people on this debate stage definitely have a tough task ahead of them. And they're just waiting. Okay, here we go. So here's the start. So they have 5 moderators for this debate? Or question asker people, at least? Interesting. They're not introducing them in the same order that I have for the way that they're going to be sit on the stage. So let's see if I have it wrong or something. Elizabeth Warren is mentioned last. Stream isn't given very good. It isn't giving very good quality either. You can barely see. Look at how garbled the bitrate is on that. Oh, there you go. It cleared up. Good job, YouTube. You fixed it. So the first thing that she mentioned in issues that they're going to talk about is Iran, which could get really interesting. Okay, so they did not introduce them in the intro screen the same way that they're seated. So how did they determine? It was just random? I don't know. Kind of suspicious, folks. I think that's kind of... You don't think that's kind of suspicious? Oh, they're going to strictly enforce time is what they're saying. Now they ask Warren a question first. So the question is, are Elizabeth Warren's policies too risky? Okay. Look at Corey's face there. She's saying, oh, it's doing great for all the rich people, but not for everybody else. So she said that it's corrupt. She says, oh yes, the economy is doing great, and that's corrupt. That's what she said. It was a good dodge, though. I mean, she basically dodged the question. I thought that was a pretty good answer. Okay. So Amy, first thing she does is talk about Donald Trump. For first one to mention Donald Trump, right? Excuse me. So she says double Pell Grants. So she's giving a very scholarly answer. It's maybe a little bit high schoolish, but I think that the larger issue here is it's probably going to be a little bit too milquetoast for most Democrat voters. I don't think that her answer there is going to really inspire anybody. Okay, asking Beto. Okay, so they're asking him if he supports a top marginal tax rate of 70%. Okay, so he pulls out Spanish in his answer. Look at Cory. Look at Cory Booker. Cory Booker's like, what the hell did he just say? Okay, so he's going into a pre-canned answer that he has right here. The words that he just said, that's rehearsed. Okay, so he's dodging the question twice now. All right, Beto just blew it. He looks very concerned. So, by the way, the question they asked him was about breaking up companies. And so he's tried to dodge a little bit, and they're asking him again. So I think Cory Booker looks really good here because I mean, he doesn't look good, man. He looks ridiculous, in my opinion. No offense, Cory, but you look a little crazy with your bug eye. but he gave a real policy, substantial answer there that I think that the other candidates haven't given so far. So I think that that's going to be a big plus for him. They're already asking Elizabeth Warren a second question. So I think her fans are really going to like what she's saying right now. Okay, so she gave a strong answer. I think that she was maybe getting a little bit too strong there, but so far that was good. Okay, question to Julian. Julian? Okay, so he's already giving a high school answer. So the problem with what Julian Castro just did there is he said, okay, thank you for the question. That's good. You want to start out with that, but then you've got to say something memorable right then. You've already lost people's attention. He's trying to connect with people with a story, which is good, but that's not what you're trying to do right now. You're trying to get the media bite. Well, the audience did like his response. But I'm just saying it's a high school answer is what I call it. The high school answer, I think that was very strong. So this again looks like a pre-canned answer. You can tell by the intonation of her voice. See, it's like she's giving a presidential speech. Yashenko, how's it going? Thank you for tuning in here. Well, I tell you what, any day that Bitcoin falls, I feel pretty good. I think it's overbought. That's all, and I want it to go down so I can buy it someday. You know. So Tulsi had, an okay delivery there, but there was, again, I don't know if that was anything that's really going to put her above the pack. You have a good sense of humor. Oh, thanks. You have to be. Oh man. Okay, so YouTube is crapping out on me. I don't know. When you get on stream and make a fool of yourself every day, I don't think you're going to get... I don't think you're going to live for very long. You're probably going to kill yourself if you can't have a sense of humor about things. So this is Blasio, right? Oh, there's plenty of money in this world. It's just in the wrong hands, is what he said. That's a memorable quote, but I see why people don't like him. So these candidates seem to have banked their strategy on getting their particular policy platform idea out there. I do think that the policy is important, and that's an important way to get the attention of the Democrat base, but it's not a good way to generate the debate headline. Only the people that are listening to this debate right now are going to remember that. If they even actually remember it, it's probably not going to get reported. So he's wasting an opportunity right now. This is a forgettable answer. Oh, you know what I need to do is that. There we go. This guy has high energy. Is actually trying a little too hard. I've never heard somebody speak so passionately about McDonald's wages. Okay, so he's pushing green energy jobs, which I think is something Democrats will like. I don't know if independents are going to really gravitate towards that, but I guess it was an okay answer. So he's again trying to do the very. You sound very passionate about it. Elizabeth Warren has been given 3 questions now. Freaking 3 questions. We could really afford to cut a few of these folk from the next debate, says Sean King. What was Stephen Miller saying here? The debate is over. No one cares. Booker has won. I think Booker gave one of the better answers, but okay. So that was maybe a good soundbite that she got there. Elizabeth Warren's hand goes up almost immediately, but only her and Bill de Blasio raised their hands. Only 2 of them raised their hands. I'm shocked. I really thought that almost everybody was going to raise their hands. Bernie obviously would raise his hands. Do you expect that we can hit 14K Bitcoin? Well, that's a very good question, Durin Gummus. And unfortunately, it's really, really hard to predict what the top of Bitcoin is. I can say that we're definitely in a bubble and that it's very likely to peak before the end of the year. But what that top price is, I can't. It's impossible to predict. My indicator says that if we got to 1500, that would be like the highest level ever. We had a pretty big sell today. They've recovered a lot of it, but we might be in a dead cat bounce. I want to see what the Asian markets do with it, see where we're at tomorrow. But that was a pretty significant drop. I'd be concerned about that. They've asked her 4 fucking questions. We are all keeping track of this, right? She's been given way more questions than anybody else. Okay. So she is definitely fighting to be the far left candidate, and she is a little bit too aggressive about it. He's giving a high school answer. AU friendly stream. Australia? What time is it over there? It's early in the morning now, right? Not early in the morning. It's like mid-morning down there, right? $11 a.m. Oh, okay. It's a little later than I thought. Yeah, sorry, Beto. So this has happened 2 times now. And so Bill inserts himself in without being called upon. Why are you defending private insurance? Is that John Delaney? Well, John Delaney just ended Bill de Blasio's career there, man. Oh, look at that. Bitcoin took a pretty big hit there. about 500 Bitcoin worth. Let's change our filter on this thing right here. Like a 50 Bitcoin sell. Should give more time. Why is Amy smiling? What are you smiling about, Amy? Where I stand is very clear. Actually, Corey, you are going to wait because you don't write bills. Congress write bills, and Congress in this country doesn't do jack squat. So, what makes you think that you are going to be able to get them to do something when the past 3 presidents haven't? Oh, no. Elizabeth wants to fight. Yeah, you can't. I'm sorry, you can't hear the live stream. So I have the link in the video description. So open that up in a separate window and play it that way. Because if I put the audio in my stream, YouTube will algorithm will catch it and take us offline. So it sucks that we have to do it this way, but it's not public content because it's through NBC. If we get one where all the networks are doing it, then we'll definitely show the audio. Okay, this is Jay Inslee. Okay. This is a strong moment for her. The issue that I have with the way this discussion is going right now for most of these candidates is that I think that most voters are just going to look at it as splitting hairs. Oh boy. Wow. He is. Interesting. I think that that's going to be a snapshot there. He gave a very serious response, but he also really tried to take the mantle of the social justice warrior right there. Man, they sure are giving Elizabeth Warren a lot of time. That's like, what, the sixth time that she's been able to speak? And trans people are affected by the abortion debate too, guys. Oh my gosh. O'Rourke, whoever you hired. Oh man, let's let him go here. All right, here we go. Here we go. We're gonna have the fun. So here at this, is this the halfway point? Is it only gonna be an hour? I don't know, but I can tell you right now, just from me going through it. I think that Castro had a moment that I think could enlarge his profile. I don't know if it's enough to get him in the discussion, but I think that his response there is going to speak really strongly to the social justice warrior people who I think have really been searching for a candidate and might latch onto him. And he's very much left. So I think that helps him. I think that Booker has also given some pretty decent, serious answers. I think John Delaney, he had a good answer there where he kind of Delaney. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about him, but it looked like he might take on the moderate mantle. So that was good for him. Some of the ones that I think aren't doing very well, though, O'Rourke. So what O'Rourke is doing is he's giving like high school debate prep type of answers, and almost everything is memorized. So he's going over the time every time. It's like a memorized thing. And there's no real impact in how he starts and any of that. So he just looks absolutely terrible. I don't think that you're going to hear much about. I mean, his campaign was already floundering, but I think that his performance today has been pretty sad. And then, of course, Blasio, because Blasio, he came out and he kind of started the war, but he lost big time in that exchange to Delaney, I felt. And I don't think that he really got anything out of being, aggressive about that. And he came off very unlikable to me. And here they're going again. Let's hear what they say about immigration. They're dying. Oh, good grief. And you're supposed to be the debate moderator. For shame. Dying. Died. This is a fucking joke right here, folks. Fraser Porter says, who are the most popular, well-known candidates here? So probably the most prominent person in this debate is Elizabeth Warren. Everybody else is just kind of trying to, get their name out there right now. It should piss us all off. Julian is going to come out head and shoulders in this debate. Why would you get rid of the Remain in Mexico? What's wrong with that? And they're trying to play games. Yes, in your first 100 days, you're going to get immigration reform through Congress, even though the past three, really, we can go back to past Bill Clinton and past the first Bush and to Reagan. They couldn't get immigration reform, but you're going to do it in your first 100 days. Okay. But he gave a good answer that's going to really help him. Oh, so now he's gonna start doing So the reason he's all shocked that Beto O'Rourke was speaking Spanish was like, oh, I was planning on being the first candidate to give a Spanish answer, and you took my thunder away from me. That's why he was so perplexed. Oh man. So I'm going to look that up, 1325, as I've never heard of that before. Yeah, people that are criminals and have, broken, killed people and are involved in gang violence. I find him really unlikable, but I think that he made a point that's going to really resonate there. I mean, that's going to be the moment, his moment that they're going to show for him. I don't know if it's enough to... So now we're speaking Spanish again. Blasio was live trolling this debate. Julian, you really don't need to insert yourself right here while he's talking. Okay. $13.25. Improper entry by an alien. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that what Julian Castro was saying is that we should have open borders. He's saying that all of them should just be able to come. Okay, so you guys argued a bit too much. Now we have to change the subject because we don't. Why don't you trade the Globex session? Well, I'm usually not home right now. I'm usually driving home from the gym right now. Yeah. I don't know. I think you can only trade so much in a day. You know what I mean? I feel like the amount of trading that I do in treasuries is already a lot sometimes. So, hold on. Had a little hitch there. E-mini's been moving up, by the way. Andrew Yang, this debate is very interesting. Okay, Andrew. I thought you would give an answer like I have less of an edge. Well, I mean, the thing is in the Globex session right now, I probably do have less of an edge, but that doesn't mean that I can't develop an edge, you know? What that kind of has more to do with what edge do you want to have, you know? Excuse me. I think I had a little network glitch there. Let's see here. Yeah, I just dropped 300 frames because of the network, but I think we're okay. Yeah, it looks like it's okay now. Tim Tim Ryan looks like if the debates had to have a cop undercover in it like Sky Marshall. He does look like that. So here's the issue with this section of the debate so far is that everybody in the Democrat Party believes the same thing on immigration. Julian tried to differentiate himself, but again, it's kind of like splitting hairs. How are you going to do something that captures the Democrat base that says that particular policy, I really like that? It's really hard to do because they're so orthodox in their opinion. It's like this is what the Democrat Party believes, and they're all on board with it. So you have to have the moment that is like, you know, the bombshell phrase, and I just don't think that these candidates are getting it. The other thing is she's asking a question that should be really easy for them to answer. They should be saying, if I was up there, not that this is what I believe, but if I was a Democrat, I would be saying that we need to have an amnesty bill. Is what I would be saying, but they can't seem to say that, which I find incredibly odd. Donald Trump has only tweeted that this is boring. Oh, we're going to talk about Iran now. We might actually get some difference. Corey does not raise his hand. How about BTC? It is on a real roller coaster tonight, isn't it? Went up 13.8, dropped 11.6, back up to 12.8. Yeah. I'm a little concerned that that back up to 11.6 is a dead cat bounce, though. We can talk about that. I think that there's only 10 more minutes to this, and then I can go really deep into Bitcoin again. I think that Booker had a good strategy there. Am I like 3 minutes behind? I hope not. Well, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. My view of the stream might be 3 minutes behind. Fear and greed index. Let's look. Extreme greed, 95%. Well, that's certainly true. In volatility, market volume, social media, surveys, Bitcoin dominance, and trendiness. I like their approach. Their little chart doesn't show it next to Bitcoin. It is extremely high. Well, Bitcoin is extremely high. There's a trading view indicator for it. That's cool. I wonder if there's a way for me to export my thing into trading view. What would your red line be? That was a gutsy call there. She's had to say something that she didn't want to say, but she did it. I think that Tulsi has some and that's the end of him. I think that Tulsi has some attributes that are, prove a strong leader. Was that de Blasio? Was that de Blasio? Trying to insert himself in at the very end of the debate. Good grief, de Blasio. Well, so let's do a little bit about the debate first, and then we can talk a bit more about Bitcoin. Yeah. I thought that was an incredibly biased debate, and what I mean by biased is the amount of time that the candidates were given was not fair at all. And it didn't appear that NBC was trying to be fair in any way. And it really looks, I think it'd be very hard. Let me rephrase. Let me start over. If you're one of the people in like the Democrat base, that think that the establishment is out to get everybody and that they're really just trying to push Biden and divide everybody else, that sort of conspiracy theory, I think that you're going to see a lot of talk from those people over the next few days, because if that's what you were trying to do, that's exactly the way that you would do it. And you would give Elizabeth Warren all of the time. And they gave Beto O'Rourke a lot of time. The sad thing with Beto O'Rourke is that he didn't make anything of it. I thought that he just looked absolutely terrible. O'Rourke is probably the biggest loser from this, and Blasio is also a really big loser in this, because even though maybe De Blasio had his moments, and I think that he was trying to take the mantle of the far left liberal there, but he's just so unlikable. Now I have to say, Elizabeth Warren is unlikable too, but I think that she was able to do a well enough balance between being aggressive and being passionate, which is particularly difficult if you're a female candidate. But I think that she was able to pull it off pretty well. The way that she spoke, obviously it's always rehearsed, but I think that she had very good coaches. She had a pretty good setup, and she looked like a professional candidate. I don't really think that very many others had that. These other guys, John Delaney did have a good moment, but I don't know if that's really going to be enough for anybody to pay attention to him. Jay Inslee, again, they had the good moments, but it's not going to increase their support. Tim Ryan, I think we barely heard anything from Tim Ryan, right? Amy, I don't think that she really did enough to overcome some of the challenges that she's been having as well. Okay. But the biggest winners are probably going to be Cory Booker and Castro, because I think both of them had substantive answers and were able to differentiate themselves. And not only that, but they were able to find a particular segment of the voters of their party to get behind that hasn't been represented well enough, right? So right now, I think that Julian Castro said immigration, that's my thing, and he owned that issue. And I think that a lot of the people that are concerned about the immigration issue, they are going to rally towards Castro. He may become the next flavor of the month. Wouldn't be surprised. Booker also, he looks like a professional candidate, although Booker, you've got to work on the way that you look at the camera and the way that you look when the camera is not on you, because you had a couple of really dumb looks during the debate. Tulsi, I have to say, I didn't know a whole lot about Tulsi before this campaign. It seems to me like Tulsi Gabbard has some attributes that would be really strong in a leader, but she stands no chance of becoming the Democrat nominee. She's just not in line with what the Democrat Party wants. So are we? They're still up there. So do we have more debate coming? Oh, okay. So that was only the first half. So now we get the politicos get to ask questions. Yeah, it's till 11. Gotcha. Oh yeah, that's what I remember now that I'm saying that. We'll be ruthless if necessary, she says. Now they're going to talk about climate. Well, thank you, because so far I do not feel like this debate has been very fair on time. I hated her since Trump TA return night. Wait, hated who? Oh, Rachel Maddow. Yeah, I don't really watch her a whole lot, so I don't have a huge opinion. Here's fear and greed compared to Bitcoin price. Let me see. No, what's with the echo? Somebody fired the audio guy. Okay. So I'm not quite following on this one. Which one is this down here, the fear and greed index? This is it here, but they're not showing us the new ones. But you're saying when the greed is high, it does tend to fall. It does look like there's some good correlation there. Yeah, I can see it. Uh huh. Uh huh. The indicator hasn't been updated though on online. I got you. Yeah, I don't really watch Rachel. I've, even the online videos of her. I mean, I read like what she's talking about and everything, but like in terms of like her personality and like her presence and everything, I don't really have an opinion on her. Obviously, she's very far left, but yeah. So we got 3 minutes here. So on Bitcoin, my indicator says that we are incredibly overbought. And it does not surprise me that the fear and greed index is up there very high, because what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a lot of people that are incredibly over bullish, that don't seem to really know a whole lot about trading or investing, you know, and they're so convinced that it's just going to keep going up. And I don't think they really know why they believe that. And so that's the thing that concerns me most of all. And then this move has just been so odd. It's not, you're not getting broad participation. It's only coming into Bitcoin. There's not blockchain transactions behind it. It's coming almost completely from Tether. So it's probably like either fake or, really rich people here. Julian, if you believe we need to keep these issues front and center in the next debates, help make sure Julian makes it there. And then he has a link. Not a shock. The president considers substantive debate over policy and how to improve the country to be boring. Now, I'll tell you why he thinks it's boring, and he's right, is that none of these candidates are doing anything that is going to make them appeal to anybody outside of the Democrat Party. They're basically preaching to the choir. And I don't think that they're doing themselves any favors. If a candidate, especially these small guys, you need a moment that is going to bring you into, at the very least, flavor of the month status that, otherwise you're not even going to be in the next debate. And they're blowing every opportunity. They're not saying anything that really resonates, that really speaks. They need the thing that Donald Trump does, which is at the very beginning of his answer, he says something that's funny or shocking and everybody remembers it. And he was doing that with every question. And most of these guys are debating like they're in high school, So I think that Donald Trump is right on that. I don't think that people are watching this debate and going, I really want to vote for a Democrat now. I don't think that that's going to happen. Anyways. So would be people who don't know about trading. Yeah, so Stick, it's an interesting thing, right? That Google Trends isn't really picking up the rise either. It's an incredibly unusual move for Bitcoin, and for me, my only expertise on the matter is, of course, my indicator and my reading of order flow, and all of those things look incredibly negative to me right now. I think that you have a bunch of people that have bought way too high. This is incredibly top weighted, and you can see what happened there just in a teeny tiny little kerfluffle, and like the exchange was down and how much panic came out from that. And if this continues, if you actually got like a real imbalance where I think you would have to get below 10,000 for it to happen, but to the point where all of the longs start getting squeezed, then it's going to go down very, very quickly. And you're not going to be able to get out fast enough. Yeah, that's how I feel. VC depth. Okay, so here they're coming back in. Uh, okay, here we go. Okay, so they're going to ask a question about gun control. So they're asking Warren about what do you do about assault weapons that are already out there, even if you did an assault weapon ban. When it made that 2K dip, Coinbase went down, yeah. It's really, don't you think it's a little suspicious, Swarmus, too? That was my first thought, was like, it happened first and then the exchange went down, and ugh. They were, put in a lot of work into increasing their capacity to avoid that sort of a thing, and the first test of it failed miserably. If you check out the Bitcoin subreddit, people were pissed they couldn't buy on the dip, and others were mad they couldn't sell on the dip because they thought it was going to bear. Yeah. So Elizabeth Warren just dodged the question. You're going to short it, huh? So I'm noticing kind of a trend here that whenever they're questioned on a hole in their policy, they just kind of ignore it and dodge the question. Oh, you live in the hood, Cory Booker, yet. He got credit, folks. Booker's got the hood creds. Was kind of interesting things to say, but I think it was probably okay. You're tired of it, huh? So here it comes into again about being passionate versus looking aggressive, and Cory Booker looks really aggressive there. He killed it. Did you like his answer there? Not, I love it. Yeah. See, here's the thing: is if you're a guy, you can kind of get away with being aggressive a little bit more, right? But I think that the Republicans are going to watch an answer like that, and they're going to say this is kind of scary. So let's see if Julian can extend his support beyond just immigration. Okay. And then I'm going to pass through every gun control law I can, right? So the issue that I have. Are you voting? No, I'm a Republican. Yeah, but I love the politics of it, right? So the issue that I have with Tim Ryan's answer right now is this is an answer. He just inserted himself into that debate, right? You better have something good to say. And he was saying something that was like, I need to add to the conversation because this isn't being talked, and not a, I need something to say because this is going to be really good for my campaign and it's going to increase support for me. He's not playing to win. He knows that he's not going to win. And when you act like you know that you're not going to win in the debate like that, then of course that's what's going to happen. Here you go. Here again is the high school answer. See the long leading intro into your answer? You've got like 3 seconds to capture people's attention and he's already lost it. I'm already talking over him. I'm already talking. He should fire his debate coach. No kidding, O'Rourke. Fire your debate coach. Hang on. We're at 30 billion volume for crypto. Well, it was pretty insane volume today. By the way, treasuries are plummeting here during today's action. In this session, it was a pretty strong sell earlier in the session, and now it is continuing into today, and that's not a good thing for Bitcoin. I say that that's not a good thing for Bitcoin because one of the theories for why Bitcoin is up so much is because of dollar weakness. And if the treasuries are moving down, that means that the dollar weakness is fading and that the rates are coming back up. Two days ago, crypto was just at 11 billion. You're talking about billion volume for like what, the whole year, or? Yeah, I know that you all believe that, but it's not true. Okay, good job, Matto. $24-hour volume. Okay. Yeah, when I was watching the tape when they were really selling, And it was the most insane volume I've ever seen in anything. And I was sitting there watching it when it peaked. I was sitting there watching it when we broke 6K. This was insane in comparison. But only spot crypto. Well, I was only watching Coinbase. But what I was seeing on Coinbase was like people were panicking and selling, and the buying back was very aggressive defensive buying. Hmm. Warren's had enough time to talk. She doesn't. I like his question, but I think that Elizabeth Warren is probably going to dodge it. Okay, you do, and that's the answer. So that's the sort of answer that you have to have, guys. That was perfect. BitMEX did 14 billion of the 20 billion today. Is that true? Wow. Wait, let's look at Crypto Watch here. Or sorry, Coin Market Cap. Bitcoin markets. This is looking at all the different exchanges. I don't think that BitMEX shows up in here because it's not actually Bitcoin, right? Because they're futures. Here's how you get how you work with Republicans. You find an issue that you both agree on, and you don't put any poison pills in the bill, and you pass it. I don't think that they're going to do that, but that's the way that you do it. Saying, "Oh, we're right," and the American public agrees with us is not going to do it. Because that's what you've been doing. That's what you did during the Obama years, and it didn't work. Zero Hedge tweets, "At this rate, Putin won't even have to spend $100,000 on Facebook ads for Trump to win." Tulsi Gabbard also messaged, it's clear who MSNBC wants to be president, Elizabeth Warren. They're giving her more time than all the other candidates combined. They aren't even giving any time to Tulsi at all. Yep. Out of the 45 billion, I see. And when you look at it right now, that was a dead cat bounce, but they're just kind of coming back to balance. It thinks like it's kind of calmed down. We'll see what the Asian session brings. It's going to be while I'm asleep, but you know, like usually around 1 o'clock my time, there's a good move when China wakes up, right? Climate change debate, it's really happening. We don't need your life story, just answer the question. Yeah. This is, what was the guy's name? Oh, who was it? I should know because he's from my state. Oh yes, Huntsman. That's right. So remember in the 2016 debate, John Huntsman, and he was in the debates. He did the exact same thing. That every time that he got a question, he had like this huge long intro, and he wasted like 50% of his question with some sort of, you know, nice sounding intro. You're wasting time. You've got 3 seconds to say something impactful. And if you don't say something impactful in those first 3 seconds, it's probably not going to help you a whole lot in this format. Like, really think about it. The best question, the best answer of the night was Elizabeth Warren saying, yes, I do. When she really didn't have a very good answer to their question. But that was the best response of the night just because of that smart ass response. That's what you gotta do. You gotta say something in the first 3 seconds that leaves a lasting impression in people. Mark Simone have left the debate, now watching a Law and Order rerun. Life is too short to spend a night watching a bunch of jury unknown backbenchers discuss wind turbines and renewable energy. Chuck Chan just gave in there. No, it doesn't. It's bullshit. I mean, I know I'm trying to be like analysis, but cap and trade legislation is something that really irks me because I understand markets, and really what they're doing is they're just creating another system that traders and rich people can manipulate, and it doesn't solve anything. Okay. Good thing there's a zero chance of that happening in Florida. Oh, look at her face. Yeah. Okay. I got a parakeet. Yep. Oh, I didn't see your first question there, Z9 Films, but yeah, I have a sun conure in the background, and he can hear me talking, and he's like, "Why aren't you playing with me right now?" 10 years really moved down very strongly, but they did stop a little bit. I think that there's a little bit more room. They could probably get to 10. Is she just like gonna try and call him out? Or they're asking Amy? That was a biting question. Milk toast answer. I mean, I agree fundamentally with her response that, yeah, if you want to help out minorities, then increase economic opportunity. That's a Republican answer right there that you're giving, Amy. That's not going to not going to excite Democrats. And here, the real question is, the real question there was, what is your coalition in the Democrat Party? Why should the Hispanics and blacks join your side of the, join you and push you in this battle? And she didn't give them a reason. You have to do something to say, I'm on your side. It's not enough just to say, um, I'm going to give you money, or something like that. You have to show that you've got street cred with them. You know what I mean? That you need to show that you understand them and the way that they think and what they want, and that you'll fight for their interests. And she didn't do that. So listen to the way that Julian does it. So he's already using the buzzwords. He's naming people that I've never heard of before. Okay, so see, there you go. He listed an issue that minorities actually care about, which is the fear that minorities are mistreated by police, right? He just showed the minority vote that he's their guy. I think that Castro has done very well in this debate. Donald Trump just stopped in Alaska and said hello to our great troops. Yeah, the debate is really that bad. Stick says Bitcoin is going to go sideways to collect the FOMO longs and then we're going to dump. Well, I think that you present a realistic and compelling scenario, but how do we know that that's actually what's going to happen? So a lot of Democrats are upset on Twitter that they didn't spend more time on climate change. Wait to see if that scenario starts to happen. Well, I think I think you have a pretty strong scenario there. I just wanted to call it early though. So you don't have like any inside information. You're just saying based on my feeling of markets, this is what would happen in this kind of situation, right? And you're just kind of calling out what you think the most likely scenario is. So if it happens, you can say that you were right. Yeah, I got you. That's how I do it. That's how I do it. Hmm. Chuck Todd. Tim Ryan, the Hawk. Well, you got to trade off the market what tells you. It's not what you think it's going to. Yeah. True that, brother. I think that Tulsi got the best of him in that debate. This is going to be an interesting response from all these guys. What you weren't listening? Delaney. Okay, there you go. Inslee just hit it out of the park right there with that one. See, that's what you got to do. Hmm. Okay, that was an okay response there from Blasio. But I mean, that's, you want to get those strong things out that are going to be memorable. Inslee, though, that was the right answer. Pretty much nothing that anybody else said after that mattered. Oh, this is a question. How? You don't know. here's the you're talking about a painting. Come effing on. Fire your debate coach. That's what you got to do, Beto. Here's what you got to do. Go home. Rethink your life. Ask yourself why you're not running for the Senate right now, because that's what you really should have done. And then fire your debate coach. Scott Adams retweeted about Bitcoin's price is climbing. There you go. John Delaney. Good. The first thing that you say has to have impact. You can see on Twitter, a lot of people seem to agree with my assessment of with my assessment of Beto O'Rourke. Obvious shill. I can't believe that. I'm surprised that he tweeted that. There, Scott Adams tweeted that. But I just look at that as like another reason to say that Bitcoin is in a bubble and it's about to pop. Chuck, cut their mic. Didn't you guys at the beginning say that you would cut mics if people talked out of turn? So I'm still seeing a lot of just preaching to the choir, and not actually working out differences between the candidates that is going to increase your coalition. I don't think that 3 hours ago. Yeah, it was like 3 hours ago that the guy tweeted it too. I just don't think that many of these candidates had a very good plan going into this debate. Julian Castro, he's done probably the best in terms of helping himself in this debate. He had a good plan, and he knew the constituencies that he needed to attract, And he knew the things that he needed to say to attract them, like mentioning the names of all of those minorities that had been killed by police. Most of the first couple of names I had never heard of before, but I'm sure that people that are interested in that issue know exactly all of those names, and we're going like, yes, 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 right? He shows that he's a part of your tribe, and that he's going to help you, and that he's going to look for your interests. And some of the other candidates, like Amy, for instance, weren't able to do that with any constituency. They didn't really know what they were trying to accomplish in the debate. A Bitcoin millionaire is planning to resurrect $20,000 per Bitcoin by 2020. Now, has that a combination of his plans and others he sees happening could resurrect Bitcoin? This is where Bitcoin should be. Oh, this is an older article, isn't it? No, June 10th. Okay. A couple of days ago. A week or two ago. I don't know. I really do think that part of the thing here that might be going on is that it seems like Bitcoin is not as good as it was because they won't increase the block size. And I'm a little concerned about them not hitting a new all-time high. Bitcoin should be 6K at most. Yeah. That's about where I put it at. Let's see here. If we're kept pushing as much volume as we have, 63. Yeah. Oh, duh. Because it's 100. But really what I want to look at is 63 times 150. 9,000. So we should have been crashing at like 9,000. That's when we would normally start to see a significant pullback, and we couldn't even get a pullback there. Pay attention, Delaney. That's the second time. I was commenting on MSNBC's live stream of the Democrat primary debate, as many others were, and got hit by a copyright strike. I'm telling you, if you show the audio, you get taken down. That's why we're not showing the audio. I have the video so you can sync it up later. But Sean King says, I hope this is the last debate for John Delaney. He has a lot of followers. Like, his tweets show up like straight away. I'm just noticing on my tape here that Bitcoin prices, they've sold quite a bit, and they sold 1,000 and they haven't come down that far. They're going to give Elizabeth Warren the last word, aren't they? Molly says this debate is very representative of the Democrat Party in that we've let deeply non-serious white men hijack a conversation that should have been between a woman and a Latino man. I think she has a good point there. It really should have just been Elizabeth Warren and Castro. Everybody else on this stage probably could go. Maybe Booker. I would have kept Booker, but the rest of them can go. What market is that for? Is it still for GDAX? Yeah, it's Coinbase Pro. That's the correct name now, right? I'd like to thank the DNC for scheduling this debate when Saturday Night Live isn't in season, so we don't have to see their take on it. Is humor against the rules in the debates? This is a good point. Nobody said anything super funny. Tensor charts. Use this for BitMEX tape. Oh, hey. You've got a real... I can filter them by volume, huh? Yeah, love it. Yeah, Julian, I could say that in Spanish. You just said like the most basic Spanish phrase you could possibly give. It doesn't qualify you to do jack shit. That doesn't even qualify you to work over at the local Mexican restaurant. Sorry. There's cumulative delta. Top left. Oh yeah, 134. Man, this is a great... This is Bitfinex. Oh, cool. Crypto. Binance. Bitfinex. Holy shnikes, dude. How come nobody's ever shown this to me before? Okay, BitMEX. What is it? XBT USD? Ooh, yeah, you get some big old monsters. So allow me to like resize these. It's interesting that the large orders placed in the level 2 don't really have a huge effect. Well, they did break through some pretty heavy wall of buying. Used to be free for all the features. Oh, maybe you did. That's probably not the first time I've seen it. This looks different though. I don't know. Well, I feel silly if you posted it a year ago and I just like completely ignored it or forgot about it. Do you know who Crown is? I've never heard that before. John Delaney perpetually looks like he just shaved off his mustache. He's a YouTuber who does Bitcoin stuff. He claims that he turned 5,500 into 25 Bitcoin in the past year. Well, that's interesting. I don't believe him. I would have to see his traits and see how he did that. Five Bitcoin. So the lowest I ever got was 3,000. He's saying that he made his money times 6 in a down market. How did he? And in order to increase the amount of Bitcoin that she had, you had to have been like really scalping it. How did he? I don't know how you would do that. This is YouTube. Yeah, I would really, I would need to see a list of traits for how he did that, because that sounds like a pretty fantastical claim. And I didn't really, I mean, I wasn't paying too much attention there, I guess, but I think I got a little distracted, but I didn't think that there was anything in their closes that made too big of a difference. I would say doesn't really change my view too much. I really think that Castro helped himself the most. Elizabeth Warren did pretty good, but she was already up there and probably shouldn't have been in this particular debate. So that's what I said. Seemed super unrealistic. Yeah, it sounds like bullshit, to be honest. But that's the thing, is that if they were honest and they had really made that much, then you would think that he would post how he did it, like his actual traits. So explain to me this. Is there a way to make this chart take up less space? Because when I resized it, see it resizes, it always takes up like a certain percentage of the screen. And I don't want it to do that. And if I click down here, that doesn't do anything. What about settings? Heat maps. That's cool. Volume profile. Man, it's got everything in here. Delta divergence and everything. At the volume of tensor charts, if you click volume studies, you can get delta divergence and volume imbalance. Click full screen. Is that this button right here? No, what's this? Oh, that's the color scheme. Let's make it big like that. Oh, there you go. You get it on the side. Is that what you meant? Click full screen on the chart. Right here, full screen. Okay. That's not better. But then you get you said volume studies, delta divergence. Yeah. Is that what that is right there? No. Oh, I don't need any of those. I don't see where it's showing up, but I could see delta right here, 262. Now make the window smaller. Okay. I don't understand. The best way to look at it was like that. That's what I wanted to see. Large trades tracker off. Buy, sells, liquidity. Is that doing the same thing as when I set the volume to 1 there? Delta divergence shows arrows on the chart. I see. When it happens, I guess. So you can show me the volume profile here. A session volume profile. Available only for paid prescription plans. Of course. Yeah, show me a screenshot. I would appreciate that. See this one right here. This is my tape, and I can put a filter on it, and it keeps track of the deltas. So to me, it's kind of weird. Granted, it's been running for a while, so it's hard for me to judge where that was from. But even if we say that we've gone from 1300 to 12.7 and we've lost 1,000, because when we were coming down into here, I was seeing the difference was about 1 to 2,000. So that's quite a bit of selling that's being absorbed here, is what I think. Anyways, want to I'll minimize this up to here, and we'll look at this chart instead of this Coinbase, instead of the Crypto Watch one. I think this is way better. Debate rankings: Elizabeth Warren, Julian Castro, Cory Booker. Yeah. It's pretty interesting. I'm usually a little bit off from most of the other pundits, and I thought that I would maybe be really far off because I'm a Republican, but it looks like most people are coming out away with the same kind of general conclusions. Okay, so here's a screenshot. Okay. So he's got here, so I think that those are the arrows. Oh, it's not drawing an arrow on mine because I haven't had it open long enough, huh? You're talking about like, did I close my pen? I did. You're talking about like this right here, right? What do you want? I don't really want anything. I just want to understand what you're talking about. They got Delta on Coinbase. I really like. I know that BitMEX is really influential, but that's like margin. Like, to me, it's not real money. The thing that I really like to see what they're doing on Coinbase, because that's dollars, you know. And it's US customers too. So that, I think, is the most authoritative price, or place that you can get price. But, you know, really, if you want to look at order flow, you probably are going to have to look at some of these other things, because I don't think that Coinbase was the one that caused that move. What was they? Probably was the BitMEX and is it Binance or Bitfinex? Probably both of those. BitMEX uses a price index for their futures. But is it done with actual dollars? I thought that they had something where your margin is based off of the Bitcoin that you have, and the index is based off of other exchanges. Okay. So another thing that's really weird about this move, is that you really didn't see significant changes in the Bitcoin futures when it was moving down, and then you did see a little bit of buying on its way back up. So it kind of looks to me like what's happening is that retail traders are not scared by this move and are trying to buy the dip. That's what it looks like. And we essentially had like a dead cat bounce. A lot of Democrat activists are unhappy about the debate. Bum, 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 ba-dum. Of course, all of the Donald Trump supporters are saying that Trump won the debate. I have to say, based on the debate performances there on that stage, if any of those people were debating against Donald Trump, they would get obliterated. And I think you are going to see, especially when it comes down to being able to make impactful statements, I think that Joe Biden is going to show you why he is a much more formidable opponent than we have given him credit for. He knows how to relate to people. He knows how to say impactful things. And he knows how to say things that, sound progressive, but that people can still agree with, if that makes sense. I think that we're going to look at this next debate and we're going to say that most of those people in this debate really don't need to be on the stage anymore. Is Sean Hannity, is it just me? Who are these people at this Democrat debate? Beyond dumb, dull, and frankly just pathetic, Roswell Rachel Maddow, the country's leading conspiracy theorist, as moderator priceless. More tomorrow. Yeah, there's a lot of people saying that Trump won that debate. But it was only the first part. And some Huawei. Okay, well, it's interesting. I guess, why are you showing me my own screenshot? Yeah, I was just trying to show you that I understood what you were talking about. Yeah, there's the chart. Anyways, I think we're probably going to wrap it out here, because I don't know if there's a whole lot more to say. We could do this again tomorrow. I mean, there's going to be the morning stream, like we always have. But then we'll do the debate thing again tomorrow. I think that this worked out okay. I'm actually pretty happy with the way it worked. I mean, it wasn't amazing, but we had a good number of people watching, and I think we had some fun chat. And, if Bitcoin continues to be crazy like this, we're still going to have stuff to talk about, even if the Democrat debate is boring. So we'll definitely do it again. Again, I think the biggest winner out of this was definitely Julian Castro, because he just took the social justice warrior side of the party by storm. And that's a powerful part of the Democrat Party that has felt underrepresented by the candidates currently out there. And we kind of thought that maybe Kamala Harris or Cory Booker would take it. Cory Booker did okay. We'll see how Kamala Harris does tomorrow. But for now, Castro really did himself some favors. I think that he should move on to the next stage of debates, but we'll see. Anyways, so I guess that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Get some good sleep. And in the meantime, hey, stay profitable, friends.